think about it, dog, I be cheesing. My whole life I've searched for the meaning. My whole life I worked for the greening. My whole life I've been plotting and scheming. All my life, swear I've been dreaming. So say, oh, you should take this tip. Make it out the rain, how you get this drip. Say, oh, you should take this tip. Make it out the rain, how you get this drip.
Welcome to another episode of Take This Tip Podcast. I'm your host, Nick. This is my fat cousin.
He's funny today. I'm Shaun. He threw me completely off with that. But I'm Shaun, and today we have a special guest today. This is
Vernisa. Hi.
Okay. And then tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Vernisa. I'm the host of Speupjv Podcast, and I love speaking life into people.
Okay, what area are you from?
Oh, where am I? I moved a lot. I was in the IE area in Long Beach.
What was your favorite area to kind of stay in? Neither?
Long Beach, baby. Yeah.
Long Beach, baby.
Currently live in LA, so yeah, everything.
Okay. So let's get into it. So how do you feel about dating outside your race? And then is that an issue?
So I personally would say, so I haven't dated outside my race before, so I really don't know. My stepmom is white.
Okay.
And honestly, it never bothered me. Like, my dad dating out of his race. I just think, like, if people in love and they happy, hey, like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't bother me, but I haven't dated outside my race. I wouldn't personally know.
Why haven't you?
I have no clue. Maybe attraction, maybe, I have no clue, really. I'll say there's never been someone out my race where I, like, probably wanted to date, I would say.
Okay. Cool. Good. And then, do you feel we are disconnected as a race? Mm-hmm. And how do we get reconnected?
Woo, I'll say we're connected and disconnected. Like, you see us coming together every now and then, you know, but then you see us also, like, comparing ourselves to each other, going against each other, a lot of, violence. I just wish all that stuff would stop. I feel like the way we can get back together is focusing on the teamwork of it, wanting to build together, and the big picture of, like, what is a good solution to bring us back together.
What is the big picture in your eyes?
The big picture in my eyes is building together. I feel like we get more done when we actually do work together. Like this collab right here is beautiful. Like, I love, I'm big in, media, going to different networking events, meeting different people. And I love when I meet people of my own race that I can come together and connect with. To me, that's the big picture, because I feel like it's okay for us to do things solo every now and then, but, like, teamwork actually make things bigger.
Okay.
That's interesting. So, what would you say was your biggest obstacle to get over? Just in, I don't know if I say in life or like as of like the past couple of months, like.
It's been a good year. I would say, I'll say getting past self-doubt. I feel like growing up, my self-talk wasn't the best. I wasn't the nicest to myself, and I reversed that over the years. And I feel like now that confidence is, like, shining through. So I think finally getting over that hump, speaking nicer to myself, not listening to people's opinions, and, like, really checking in with myself and tapping in with me, that has actually led me to success in a lot of different ways these past couple months.
I want to go back to the interracial thing. So I understand that you haven't dated outside your race, but what are some challenges that you feel like dating outside your race where you may come or may come your way?
Oh, like if I was a date outside my race, a challenge? Yeah. Well, I mean, struggle. I did go to a predominantly white university. I went to UC Santa Cruz. It was mostly white people, with 3% black, I want to say. Oh, wow. And I would say I had different conversations at that university, like with different people. I talked to people from different places, different races, everything. And what I want to say is there was a disconnect when it came from when background was talked about. Certain struggles I would bring up, things, being the first in my family to go to college, those type of things. The struggles I talked about growing up, I feel like that was a disconnect. So I feel like what's one thing, dating outside my race, economically, that might be a big factor, I understand. Or also, too, the problems, sometimes too, the issues of a broken family. If you come from a broken family, or like you didn't see your mom and dad together, those things, that could play a big part if like, you're still healing from some things, or you date someone who came from probably a two-parent household, or like they handle stress differently, or they didn't have certain traumas that you grew up with.
Okay. So you could say that having both parents in the household can also play a major factor in your upbringing.
In a healthy, I was going to say in a healthy way, yes.
In a healthy way, okay.
Yes, not necessarily just having both parents.
Have you ever had a long distance relationship before?
No. Just not a little young thug stuff. But no, no. No, on the phones. But I feel like that probably doesn't, I mean, it works for some people, but I feel like you get to a point where it's like.
What do you think doesn't work?
With a long distance relationship? The time. Yes, you can talk on the phone and stuff, but it's nothing like those like in-person memories. Like, I've like, for example, I have family that's out of state, and sometimes it's hard to kind of like get to know them, or, you're missing a lot of memories with that. So I think one thing about relationship building is those memories. So if it's long distance to where y'all can see each other often, okay. But if it's like you ain't seen each other for like 5 months, this and this, I think that can be overwhelming, in my opinion.
So how important is it to make peace with your past in order to move forward?
Oh my goodness. It's very important. When we think about our past, I love to think of like, I knew what I knew at that time. That's why certain decisions were made. And if we spend time looking back, dang, I should have done, you wouldn't have become who you are. I think mistakes are meant to happen. It's a part of your journey. I'm the oldest of 5, and I'm watching my siblings make certain mistakes. And there's certain things, I'll tell them, but they're going to do what they're going to do. But it's a part of their journey. And I think if I didn't make certain mistakes I made, I wouldn't be who I am today. So I think that's the piece right there, knowing this was meant to happen. It happened in its divine order. And now I learned from it, and this is what I could become from there.
Okay.
Do you prefer older men or younger men, or around your age?
I would say my age or older. No, not super younger.
Women love them older
Yeah.
men.
Sure
Why
do.
older?
Okay. All right, I can break that down.
I really
First
do.
of all, let me throw this out there.
Shout out to y'all, though. They do. Appreciate y'all.
Age doesn't define maturity. So yes, I'm very mature I like to say I'm mature for my age, but age doesn't define maturity, however, but I would say maturity is what matters more over age. And then I would say at this age that I am right now, like, certain stuff you got to have in order. Like, I want to buy a house with somebody, really, focus on financial independence, all those things. So there are certain things that just got to be lined up. Yeah, someone younger could already be doing the work towards that. But then there's some mistakes we still making, like in our early 20s, that I feel like when you get into your 30s, it's like, okay, you got some things in order.
How do you feel about those couples that are like, let's say like a 40-year gap between age? How do you feel about that?
You know what? To each their own. As long as it's legal, I'm not totally like, I mean, me personally, that's not my cup of tea, but I mean, I don't know.
Do you think they can actually be in love with that age gap? You think they can find love?
I don't think I can.
Okay. Because I always say energy introduces itself before you introduce yourself. Meaning that the approach you can be a younger guy and step to an older woman and bag her,
Speaking from experience.
Hey, hold on.
My bad. Get that out.
It's
My bad.
recorded.
Yeah, record. No, I'm just saying, but it's just all about how you are as a man, like how you were brought up. I was brought up to where, you should, in order to get respect, you got to show respect. And that goes for any and everything in life, because you, like you said, you do have obstacles, that come with, with that. You don't give respect, then, people just run all over you. But if you give the respect, you get it back, and I think that should be something that is put forward first. A lot of times men come up to women with some of the craziest lines. Like, I've heard some of the craziest lines in my life, and I'd be like, wait, huh?
Like, word, though.
Like, did he really? No, but did he really just say that though? Like, what? Like, okay. And then, like Nick said, you have some women who go for it. Oh, and I feel like in this generation, if it sounds good, it's gold. But they keep forgetting that stuff is gold plated.
Ooh, gold plot like that.
Yeah, and if we can really just lock in with just, figuring out who we are, you know, the right energy will come your way. The right woman will come your way. You just got to put in the work.
Yeah. How do you feel? I mean, let me rephrase that because that's not where I was going with that. So, we're approaching the end of the year. Do you have any goals or anything that you're looking forward to, or something that you're looking to accomplish before the new year comes?
Before the new year comes, I really want to get on track with this marathon training. So that's something I just finished a half marathon over the weekend, so I feel like I just want to stay locked in. Thank you. So I want to stay locked in with that. Finishing up the year strong.
Is this your first marathon?
Yes, this would be my first. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
What did any obstacles, you know, come your way with doing that? Like as far as like mentally, because I know mental health is a big issue out here. So how was that for you, like, to overcome?
Yeah, I would say it was the discipline of it all. You know, I remember when I first started running, a mile seemed like a long time, 2 miles seemed like a while. So then running has taught me patience. And, like, that's the thing with life. I think with anything in life, the patience is what's going to get you through. And once I got to a point with 5 miles and it seemed like nothing and just moving up, it's like, okay, it's helping me in other aspects of life. So I would say the discipline, like sticking to the running, making the time for it, and pushing my mind to, like, keep going even if it hurts, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. And then, how can I say this? Is love lost in this generation?
I don't think it's love. I don't think it's lost. I think it's hiding. It's like covered over something.
What would you say is covered over?
I would just say, this is my personal opinion, I would say I think in my opinion, a lot of people are afraid to, like, do the inner work that it takes to, like, attract that. I think we're looking for people to solve our problems, like, you know, or we're blaming we're taking the last situation with us into the new situation and expecting that person to fill in those gaps when there's still, like, something inside we still got to work on to attract that love and be ready. Because I feel like you gotta love yourself and really have that self-confidence in yourself and to appreciate when someone is treating you right and it's coming back at you.
Do you feel like because we've kind of layered love, that this is why we're struggling with it? There are so many things now where I feel like you really it wasn't really entertained in the past, where you got, like, all these open relationships, all these different types of love, and maybe that's why most of, you know, our generation is just not staying together.
I think it's focused on the wrong things. We have social media, so we trying to prove to the next person, like, you know, we trying to prove, look, I got this, I got that. We're trying to, like, it's a lot of competition and comparison, and then people ain't really being with who they truly want to be with or doing what they got to do to be with. It's like what looks good, what sounds cool. Because even with an open relationship, or no, we'll say polygamy, right? That's a commitment still. Yeah. You know, people think, oh, I got this many boyfriends, or no, this many women, da-da-da. However, that's still a commitment to whoever that is that's in that relationship with you. So it still starts with that love within yourself to commit to somebody else or those multiple people.
It's a lot of work, yeah.
It's tremendous work to put in. And so, with that being said, could you ever see yourself, like if a guy came up to you, like how we just said, if a guy came up to you in a club and said, hey, my name is Mike.
Okay, Mike.
And, you know, and I want you to, you know, be a part of my family, and his family is 2 other women. Would you have an issue with that? If you and him are vibing, too?
Personally, I'm into monogamy, so not political. So no. Okay.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, that threw me off.
What threw you off?
That threw me off.
How did that throw you off?
I wasn't.
Well, you thought I would be in a relationship with 2 people?
No, I didn't necessarily think that. It's just like, I don't know how that just threw me off. I'm sorry, y'all out there. I don't know how that just threw me off.
Y'all thought I would be? I'm just asking. I'm curious.
I really don't. I don't know why that threw me off. I really don't know why, to be honest with you. And I'm not even trying to be funny.
Do you have any questions for us?
What's y'all thoughts on polygamy?
Nah,
traditional.
Traditional, okay.
Yeah.
Then why throw you off?
I don't know, but for me, how can I say this? It's already tough as for a man to have one woman that you have to cater to. You know, that's a lot of work you got to put in. I can't have 3 other headaches in my personal space. That's not happening because and headache does not mean bad all the time. It can mean good also. Let me clear that up. You know,
Can you elaborate with that?
Meaning, like for example, this is my little headache, and I'm her little headache. So sometimes some people actually have that little nickname for each other, but they still love and care about each other. Like
Through it all.
yeah, through it all. Like
Okay.
like I have family members who be like, I can't stand this person I'm with, but I love them though, and I love how they love me, even though they get on my last nerves. So.
How important is religion and culture in a relationship?
I think you got to see eye to eye. Because I feel like if you don't, there's going to be like a disconnect, in my opinion. I mean, people do get together and they have different beliefs. Maybe it's worked, but I feel like there has to be some type of core. Be able to pray. I think a couple should pray together, be able to pray together, and it's okay. Yeah. Not where like I'm praying and then he got to walk out the room because he's like, oh no. That's what it sit for me personally. When it sit.
Yeah. Okay. So I read this quote today, and it says, "Naps don't help when the soul is tired."
Okay.
What did you get from that? Like, what's your take on that?
You know what? Okay. It already came to me. Sometimes we try to sleep our problems away. Like we'll go to sleep and like ignore really what's going on. Your soul's always with you, your spirit, whatever that self-talk, you're going to wake up with those same thoughts, actually plus more, because you're actually prolonging it. So, the soul's tired, you're always going to be tired regardless. It might even appear in your dreams, whatever it is that's bothering you.
Oh, wow. That's deep.
Can you talk about a time that maybe your soul was tired?
Oh, wow. Okay. I would say a time my soul was tired. There was a time when I would say I was like holding everything in. I was going through, I was going through many
Take
your time.
Breath.
There was a time some years ago I was going through like a mini depression. Wasn't aware really, but I was like crying a lot in the room. Didn't really tell nobody. I was still have my smile. Everyone knows me as like always smiling and stuff. But I really was like letting out a lot of tears by myself. And that was the time I feel like my soul was tired. And then I'll say this too, being in a space like you really learn a lot about yourself living alone. When you're living with other people, let's say you live with other people, it's easy to get what's the word I'm using? It's easy to get distracted by everyone else's problem. Something else happened, you can blame your anger on that.
Of course.
When you're literally by yourself, if you ain't feeling right, you feeling uneasy, it's time to dig within, because it's like you can't say it was this, and this. It's something going on up in here. Yeah. So I'll say that self-realization too helps me work on a lot of things where I realize, okay, my soul's tired. Let me figure out why it is within.
Yeah.
Is that what you did that time that your soul was tired, or was there something that happened, or did somebody help you through that? Did you help yourself through that?
Getting to know myself and pushing my confidence. I went to a seminar that talked about self-talk. That changed my life. Once I started changing, I really was monitoring what I was saying to myself. That voice in your head is very important. So once I started reversing that, it actually helped me like wake up the tired soul. That makes sense.
And to piggyback on what you said, I always say that you should check yourself before you let somebody else check you. Meaning check your problems. If you know you're going through something, don't try to maneuver around it or try to jump into a relationship that you know deep down your soul isn't ready for. If you know you're not ready for it, why are you messing up somebody that's good coming into your life? That's like, hey, I'm good for you, but you're not even, if I'm not good for myself, I can't do that. It's not going to work. It's going to create more chaos, and it can potentially mess up the woman that's in your life that's new. Because now she feels that every time I try to talk to you, it's this or it's that, it's the issue, we argue and we fight now. And that's probably not even the person that she was walking into the relationship that she's in,
Has it ever been a time where you felt like you messed up a good one, or you let a good one go away?
Yeah, I'm man enough to say it, and I can hold myself accountable. I have messed up a relationship where she was a great woman, and the reason why I feel like I let it go is because sometimes you have to be able to grow as a person. And I still had childish ways. I still wasn't mature enough to handle certain situations. And it could be because of my past experience and, not having an actual father figure in my house, not being able to speak to somebody when I wanted to, but over time, I did understand that, hey, go to God, go to who you pray to. That should be first and foremost, because he created us, in my opinion. I mean, that'd be y'all's opinion, so you take it how you take it. It is what it is. But, I just prayed and I just kept my best foot forward. And, at the end of the day, it's like this. I want you to be happy regardless, whether if I'm in your life or not. I still want the best for you. I still want you to strive and become great. Become the great person that you're destined to become. Don't let the outside negativity, affect you becoming great,
Whoever that is he was speaking to right now, get this video to her. Because that was definitely from the heart.
No, before that was from a genuine place. And I don't go backwards. So
has it ever been a time where you felt alone?
Yeah. I have days where I feel alone.
Still?
Yeah. And the reason why I say that is because I'm so used to at least having somebody I can talk to that now I'm starting to become like, wait, I don't want to be anybody else's kind of like burden. So I'd rather just kind of fix it myself within. And then once I've kind of like, I guess you could say calm myself down, then I'm like, okay, let me go and speak to somebody now. Just hit somebody up. Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey, you got a minute? And I always say this. You don't know what the other person on the other line is going through. So be courteous enough to ask them, hey, you got a minute to talk? I got to kind of vent something to you, And if they say, no, I'm kind of busy right now, don't take it as a sign of disrespect or they're just pushing you out the way. They're not. What they're doing is that they're handling their business that they have to handle, and maybe God has somebody else out there for you to talk to,
Right. So for me, in the past, there was a time where I did feel like I was alone. Even though I had somebody, I had family that I can reach out to. Yeah. But like you said, I didn't want to be a burden to anyone.
Yeah.
So, and me personally, like I'm still kind of struggling with this now where I'm like, I take on everything. I just put this shit on my back and I'm like, let's do it. I'm one man show.
Yeah.
I have to learn that I have people in my life that are there to support me and help me through these things. I don't have to do everything alone. You know what I'm saying?
You preach.
And that's a struggle, and that's just probably part of being a man. But it's okay to accept the help.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah. Was there ever a time where you were struggling to take like the help that God was trying to bless you with?
To take the help that God was trying to bless me with. You know what? I'm not afraid to ask for help. I've always been the type, like, if something was really, I am a one-woman show sometimes, like, I'm like, I got this. But I feel like if my cup is getting too full, I'm one of those people, like, I'm quick to call someone close to me.
Okay.
But then it's also bit me, too. And I had to learn, like, being more using discernment on who I can go to for that. And also, too, I know we're talking about, like, times of darkness. Be careful too in your times of light as well. Like, not everyone could handle too the good stuff. We say my day ones, they went me through but who's with you through the good? I think that's been my like lesson at this moment, like being blessed in a lot of ways right now. Who can handle that part? People kind of get some people will shadow themselves out when you're actually elevating, and you have to find a new tribe, because some people get used to that identity of you when you're down here, so they're comfortable with you. But then when you kind of start, you're not reacting the way you were. You don't have the same triggers. You're not calling with the sad news anymore. It's kind of hard for some people to handle that because they're used to seeing you. And I think sometimes some people allow you to vent to them. Some people, because it takes them away from their problems. So then now you got good. They have to look at themselves now, the stuff to be whatever they're dealing with. So that's something I've been learning too.
I'm calling this Negro out right now. You know who you is.
No. talk to him.
Bro, I say something else for you. I'm still me, no matter what. That's one thing about me. My number has not changed in probably like 10, 12 years. Like, it's been a long time. My number is still the same. I'm still me.
We're gonna talk about that.
Look, I'm still me regardless. Yeah. Like, I ain't never changed. I'm just a phone call, text away. There are people still from high school, middle school that's just hit me up. Hey, bro, hopefully you doing well. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to y'all. Hey, just checking on you. How your mental doing? I appreciate that, and I give it back.
Yeah.
A phone call goes a long way.
Yeah.
Can I ask you two a question?
Sure.
As men, what would y'all say is the hardest thing about being vulnerable? Whoever want to go first. Remember to speak up.
Okay. So the hardest thing about being vulnerable as a man is being able to speak for you to understand where I'm coming from, instead of you just giving me a reply because you know it's going to ease the pain. You know, like, don't just put a Band-Aid over what I'm telling you. Help me heal it. You know, a lot of times we sit back as men and we're like, you know, speaking for myself, let me say this. I go through a lot within. And if I'm going to speak to you about it, it's because I feel comfortable speaking to you about it. But that don't mean you turn around and tell your friends my business because y'all out having brunch on a Sunday and y'all just need something to talk about, you know? That's not right to me, you know? And then now when I come around your friends, now it's like, oh, I'm getting looked at a certain type of way, or now the person who I actually am isn't being looked at. It's being looked at from that light, like how you just said. So now I got to defend the light that you created about me before I even got to show my own light.
I get that. I feel that. For me, the hardest part about being vulnerable with someone is kind of what you know you said. It's the part about trusting a person first to be vulnerable with, and once you give that trust and you know to that person, the hardest part for me is that now you're throwing it back on me. Like, I trusted you. It already takes a lot for me to be vulnerable with you. And I trusted you with this information, and now you're using this information against me. So that makes me not want to trust anymore. That makes me not want to go to you anymore.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of things that we share. Sometimes we share with our partner that our family don't know. But, and one time, you know, a relationship, it was like they kept asking me, well, you hold back. You're not giving me you. And a lot of the times I'm like, I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
You know, no one taught me how to just be open and vulnerable. You know, that's something that I feel like it builds over time. It's like a confidence thing. You know, it's like, you know how we say, like, these women, you have your wall up. Okay, it's like the same thing. It takes time. It takes me getting to know you. It takes me trusting you fully to be that comfortable with you, to be vulnerable with you. That's the thing for me. And once I'm vulnerable with you and you throw it back on me, I don't know if I can ever be that again with you.
It's pretty much also, how can I explain it as well? You basically took the tool I gave you. If I gave you a hammer to help me rebuild myself, you basically took that hammer and turned it into a sword and then stabbed me with it.
Ooh, that was poetic, yeah.
And that's exactly how I feel. Like, and I don't think women understand that, but sometimes when the man gives you a tool, stop turning it into something else and then using it against him. That's not right.
Are we talking about all women or some women?
Yeah, because not all women do that.
Some women.
People, this is people are doing it.
Well, okay. Well, let me say this then. Let me reiterate that. Some of the women that I've encountered have taken the tool that I've gave them and have used it against me. And I'm like, why are you fighting me instead of helping me fight what I'm going through? Especially if you ask to be a part of what I'm fighting, you know?
I think it's just like, sometimes if I can speak for the woman, I would just say, I know, brother. But if I can speak for the woman, I would say maybe it's the same on her end. She hasn't learned to maneuver, or maybe it's a lot that you know she's taking in, right? Yeah. And she doesn't know how to deal with it. So maybe it could be one time where she made a mistake, right? And you're like, dang, like I told you all this and you're gonna do me like that. That doesn't mean that's how she feel about you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a learning process for both of you. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that we should just write the ship off. You know what I'm saying? We're just like, okay, like, hey, like, you know, I ain't messing with her no more. Like, you know, it was vulnerable. Like, I was vulnerable with you. You did this to me, and I can never forgive you again. I said that it was hard for me to be vulnerable with you again, but that does not mean that I'm not gonna be vulnerable with you again.
Understood. But then like you said, if it's already hard for you, now it's going to be even. Would you say that it's even harder for you to get over that hill now, that which was just made hard for you? Because now, if you already climbed to the top of the hill and you thinking, okay, I'm good up here, you basically you basically saying like you just got kind of like kicked back down a little bit, you know, like you moved up 10 spaces to get knocked back down 20, you know, like how
I feel about it is it's not my job to hold anything over anybody's head. It's not in my power to judge at all. I can feel some kind of way about something, but I cannot judge you. That is not my, you know, I can't say, hey, you know, that's to a higher power. Yeah. I cannot judge you. What I can do is I can learn to forgive you. Yeah. Okay? That does not mean that I have to forget what happened. But we have to learn to forgive that person and move forward. Or make the decision we don't want to move forward.
Yeah, which brings me to my point. That's why I always stand on this when I say I don't go backwards. I can forgive you, but to me, I just can't forget it. Now, sometimes I can, but still, if it's something that I know within myself, like, am I gonna bring this up every other month? Are we gonna get into an argument about it because I feel some type of way? Is that healthy for me to be in a relationship and to keep putting that burden on that woman, you know? It's not fair. So me being the bigger person, I'm going to be like, hey, you know what? I don't think this is working because I don't think I'm going to get past what actually happened, you know? And maybe that's something I need to learn how to get past. And I have before, but it's still a learning process though. It's not something I could just switch and be like, okay, I can forgive you and move on.
I think there has to be a want. You know what I'm saying? You have to want to get over it. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like you.
I got something to add on to
okay, I feel like it has to be a want to get over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, one mistake shouldn't flush the memories and the experiences and all that just down the toilet, all down the drain. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said, it's just what you just said right now. It's a learning process. You know what I'm saying? But there has to be a want to move past these difficult times, these difficult situations. But go ahead.
And I would say too, it's good to recognize when you're dealing with something that's conditional. You know, a lot of us operate on conditional love. Like, when it's good, it's good, but when it's bad, I have this mechanism ready. And I want to say this too. It's another beautiful thing about being vulnerable is the exposure of it. Actually reveals who's really with you and who's not. You ever been vulnerable with somebody and then they kind of betray you after, and you're mad, like, damn, why did I tell them that? But at the same time, it's kind of a blessing. It's like, if I didn't give you this trust, you wouldn't have really showed who you were. Because people don't do no foul stuff till they comfortable. So I think that vulnerability is like, okay, now I got that control. I know this, and this. Now I can bite them. Yeah. So I think sometimes too we have to kind of thank ourselves for being vulnerable and making that mistake, because it actually reveals the character that really was there. That was there the whole time, but now they felt like tough enough to reveal that side of them. If that makes sense.
How I look at it before like making like just like some crazy decision or drastic decision or change, I say to myself, does the good outweigh the bad?
Yeah, ooh, that's a good one.
And I mentally just look down the list. Okay, we've been through this, we've done this. Okay. And I'm sitting there and just letting myself go through these emotions, right? And if the good outweighs the bad, then that means that there's something worth fighting for, or worth holding on to, in my opinion.
But then when it's the other way around, what happens?
You gotta go!
Nah, for real. And also, I wanted to say congratulations again on the marathon that you ran.
The half
marathon, you. Still. And I got something for you.
Oh, okay. Look.
This is my personal brand.
Oh,
this is
God, I'm excited, y'all.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
This is official right here.
Yeah. Just something to say, thank you and congratulations, because I don't know if I would have been able to run 13 miles.
No, your mind.
Yeah.
You're telling your mind that. I didn't know if I can, but you got to reverse
But you
that.
did it, and to me, that's champ.
Okay.
And in Inglewood, when we say champ, it's a word of endurance,
Yep.
a word of courage.
Be a champ.
You know, something to kind of, champ life. You know, you kept it solid, and you completed it, and that's what it's about, going for the win. And even in relationships, you know, at times you may feel like you're doubting yourself, like, dang, I got such a good woman, but am I really messing this up? But then, like Nick said, you weigh the good with the bad. Okay, look, how can I fix the bad? If I know I can fix the bad, then the good is worth fighting for, you know? So that was just, something from me to you. You know?
Right. Leave us with a tip for the day.
Yeah.
Ooh, tip for
Look
the
into
day.
the camera and give
Tip
it-
for the day. Don't fold on yourself. Believe in yourself. We have more power than we actually have the power that we think. Whatever we give our energy and time to, that's what we give the power to. So give time and energy to yourself so you can be the best you can be. That's my tip for today.
All right, Nick, take us out.
Thank you for tuning in with us again for another episode of Take This Tip Podcast. I'm your host, Freak Nick.
And I'm Shaun.
Yes. And I'm Vernisa.
And we out.
Ta-ta.
Ta-ta, like that.
When I think about it, dog, I be cheesing. My whole life I've searched for the meaning. My whole life I've worked for the greening. My whole life I've been plotting and scheming. All my life, swear I've been dreaming. So say, oh, you should take this tip. Make it out the rain, how you get this drip. Say, oh, you should take this tip. Make it out the rain, how you get this drip.